Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, are you ready to plunge into something really exciting today?
I think everyone's been waiting for this one.
Absolutely. After the huge success of Prey, which totally reinvigorated the Predator franchise, didn't it? Just defied all expectations.
It really did. Set a high bar.
So now, director Dan Trachtenberg is back, and he's ready to unleash what, honestly, a lot of people are calling the next evolution of this whole iconic series.
Yeah.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into PredatorBadlands. It's the upcoming film, and it's already got this massive buzz going just from, a few glimpses in the trailer.
The anticipation is definitely there.
So our mission today, basically, is to sift through the analysis. We've got this fantastic YouTube deep dive video, really breaking down the Badlands trailer piece by piece. And we've also got a pretty comprehensive Wikipedia entry for the film. So we're going to try and pull out every, crucial nugget of knowledge, all the key insights from these sources.
Right.
So you can walk away not just informed, but really clued in to why Badlands might actually be a fundamental game changer for the whole Predator universe.
And what's really remarkable here is how it looks like the film is charting totally new territory for the series.
Yeah.
It seems poised to redefine some core elements we thought we knew, while also kind of weaving connections to this much grander cinematic tapestry. It's a really ambitious swing.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and the sources suggest it might just pay off.
Okay, so let's start with the setting, because, our sources describe it as arguably the most distinctive, maybe the most ambitious environment in the franchise's history. We are finally leaving Earth behind.
Which is a critical shift, right?
Yeah.
Because unlike previous Predator films that often just, disguised Earth-like jungles or cities as alien hunting grounds.
Right, yeah.
This planet is explicitly designed to feel genuinely otherworldly and profoundly hostile.
So not just a backdrop.
No, not at all. It's like an active, dangerous character in itself. And that changes the very nature of the hunt. You know?
And the sources really paint a vivid picture. What are we talking about?
Vast, rocky wastelands, arid badlands, these sprawling desert expanses.
Yeah.
But all with this deeply alien twist.
Okay.
Think jagged, impossible rock formations, cliffs eroded by extreme weather, maybe not even Earth-like weather, and minimal, really bizarre vegetation.
Sets a mood immediately. Isolation, harsh survival.
Exactly. But it's not just barren, interestingly.
Oh.
The analysis highlights pockets of dense, strange forests and aggressive flora, like plants that emit poisonous smoke.
Seriously?
Yeah, and tree vines that actively attack you.
Oh.
So it makes you ask, right? How is this incredibly dynamic, dangerous ecosystem going to influence the predator's tactics?
And how do humans even survive there if the plants are after you too?
Right. It has this layer of unpredictable peril that hasn't really been explored like this before.
And there's more, right? Glimpses of lush greenery, towering alien trees.
Yeah, suggesting a wide variety of unique wildlife and ecosystems. It's a far cry from the, relatively simple jungles we've seen before.
Yeah.
The sources even mention massive, kaiju-sized creatures and a whole diverse array of alien fauna. It really underscores this idea of it being the ultimate proving ground.
Kind of like the Safari Planet concept from Predators back in 2010?
Exactly like that, but maybe with a much richer, more dangerous sense of alien life. It feels more genuinely lived in or hunted in, I guess.
And there's tech there, too. Speeders, Weyland Yutani vehicles.
Yeah, crucially. That's not just set dressing. It strongly hints at human or maybe even android colonization or exploitation on this hostile world.
Okay.
Which adds another layer of complexity, like who exactly is on this planet and why are they in such trouble?
All right, now for what might be the most paradigm-shifting reveal from the sources.
This is the big one.
For the very first time in franchise history, we have a predator as the protagonist, not the antagonist. That's monumental. But, it also makes you wonder, are we risking losing that, primal terror that made the original so effective by making the hunter someone we root for?
That's a really excellent point. And it's a core narrative challenge Badlands seems to be embracing head on. Traditionally, predators, the Yacha, right, they're depicted as these apex hunters, bound by a strict, often brutal code.
Code, yeah.
But this outcast motif, it immediately humanizes our protagonist, Dec. It invites the audience to empathize with his struggle. For acceptance, for survival.
It's a trade-off, less pure monster thrills, more character exploration.
Seems like it. That's a bold choice.
So tell us about Dec. The sources mention the actor.
Yeah, this young predator, Dec, is brought to life by Dimitrius Schuster Koloamatangi. He's a New Zealand-born actor known for his physicality.
Okay.
And apparently he went through rigorous motion capture training to really embody that predator primal grace, but also emphasizing Deck's outcast status through, like, subtle body language.
How so?
Like hesitant movements contrasted with sudden bursts of lethal precision. And get this, he even mastered the iconic mandible clicks and growls.
Wow, that's dedication, serious commitment to the role.
It really is. And what's particularly intriguing, the sources mention how the actor's Maori heritage seems to have subtly informed some of the Predator's tribal aesthetics.
Like what?
Well, including a distinctive, apparently controversial, ponytail hairstyle.
Interesting. Like Prey using Comanche influences.
Exactly. Kinda parallels that, deepening the franchise's exploration of these indigenous narratives, making the Yacha feel like part of these rich, ancient, complex societies.
And the actual design of Deck, it's different.
Yeah, the sources describe him as visibly slimmer, more streamlined physique, and a face characterized as, quote, more human.
More human? How?
They specifically note softer cheek ridges, a narrower jaw, larger, more mobile eyes. It's all designed to make Deck's face more readable, basically, for nuanced emotion.
So we can actually track his inner struggle. It's not just a cool mask.
Precisely. It's a deliberate narrative choice. It transforms the hunt from just survival horror into something with potentially real emotional weight.
Feels like a classic hero's journey, almost.
Yeah, it mirrors those arcs, doesn't it? The protagonist overcoming societal, personal obstacles to achieve redemption.
But applying that to a predator...
It's a remarkably clever way to tell a fresh story within this established universe.
Okay, building on that, another radical element.
Right.
One that completely flips the script on the whole franchise concept.
The alliance.
The alliance between our outcast predator, Deck, and a human character named Thia, played by Elle Fanning. This is totally new ground for Predator.
And what's truly captivating here is the confirmation Thia is actually a young android.
An android? Seriously?
Yeah, created by the infamous Weyland Yutani Corporation, the cornerstone of the Alien franchise.
Wow, okay.
Her eyes reportedly flicker with that familiar corporate logo, just like David and Walter.
So that duality, it immediately elevates the dynamic, right? Beyond just survival.
Absolutely. It offers these profound philosophical undertones about consciousness, prejudice, the nature of alliance itself. Can a synthetic being, truly form trust?
And Elle Fanning's role. What do the sources say about her performance?
They describe her as bringing this compelling blend of vulnerability and resilience, conveying trust and tension through mostly nonverbal interactions, which, is going to be crucial given the language barrier.
Makes sense.
And the trailer even hints at her synthetic origins, apparently, with a line like, "You hunting something can't killed."
Interesting phrasing. Could be a linguistic quirk or something deeper.
Exactly. It suggests maybe linguistic programming or, something more existential about her nature. Makes her character instantly intriguing.
So this alliance,
Yeah.
What does it mean for Deck? A break from the hunter-prey thing.
That seems to be the crucial question, doesn't it? Does this partnership signal a definitive break from that rigid binary that's defined his species?
And for Thea, she has to overcome fear, prejudice.
Yeah, navigating the moral ambiguities of collaborating with a creature known for, let's face it, brutal violence. It's a huge test of character for both of them.
Potentially a new chapter for both species, maybe.
Could be. And the visuals apparently underscore this evolving trust.
Like what?
Glimpses of the predator offering Thea a weapon, or them standing back to back against, overwhelming odds.
Powerful shorthand. An unlikely bond forming.
In a very hostile world, yeah.
Okay, beyond the characters, this deep dive is just packed with new lore. Stuff that promises to expand the Predator universe in really exciting ways.
Definitely.
So the film's set in the 22nd century on this remote, unnamed planet. That's the first significant off-world setting since Predators in 2010, right?
Right, and that shift is crucial. It allows for unparalleled world building, which you can already kind of see in those vibrant yet dangerous ecosystems in the trailer.
And speaking of world building, the Weyland-Yutani connection?
Ah, yes. Sharp-eyed fans have definitely spotted multiple references to the corporation throughout the trailer.
So it's deliberate, a connection between Predator and Alien.
Seems very deliberate, hinting at shared timelines, or at least a shared future between the universes.
And the damaged vehicle.
Yeah, that damaged Weyland-Yutani vehicle further ties this remote planet to corporate colonial ambitions. It suggests a much larger, maybe more insidious presence at play.
And it's not just fans, right? The directors themselves have hinted at this.
Yeah, Dan Trachtenberg and Fede Alvarez, who directed Alien Romulus, have both openly hinted at a shared universe future. Though apparently studio heads tease any crossover wouldn't be in the way you think.
Intriguing.
Alvarez himself imagined a scenario where audiences think they're watching a Predator story, and then xenomorphs just suddenly appear later on.
Oh man, that would be intense. A brilliant twist.
Wouldn't it? And this brings us to the ultimate adversary teased in the
Why,
film.
the sources mentioned something big.
Yeah, described as a massive, almost dinosaur-like creature. And some speculate, and this would be huge for AVP lore, it could be a Weyland Yutani engineered xenomorph hybrid.
A hybrid, like predator DNA mixed with xenomorph.
Possibly. Maybe resulting in serrated teeth, a whip-like tail. If true, it's a creature designed to be the ultimate challenge for both Dec and Thia.
And the world-building commitment, the language.
Yeah, get this. A consistent written and verbal language for the Predators was developed specifically for this film.
By who?
By the same linguist who created the Na'vi language for Avatar.
No way.
Yes, way. And Dimitrius Schuster Koloamatangi, playing Dec, actually learned it for the role.
That's incredible. Real cultural depth for the Yacha.
Exactly. And remember the trophy walls? Classic Predator thing.
Skulls and bones, yeah.
Well, the film apparently opens with one. But what sets this wall apart is its, frankly, mind-bending diversity.
Oh, yeah. What's on it?
Among the usual human and animal skulls, get ready, an Independence Day alien harvester skull.
What?
A T-Rex skull. And possibly, astonishingly, even an engineer skull from the Alien franchise.
Okay, that's not just fan service. That's a huge statement. Predators fighting harvesters, engineers.
It implies a history spanning galactic conflicts. It's massive.
And there's a theory about Dec himself. Relating to the comics.
Yeah, a strong fan theory connects Dec to Dashandai, a.k.a. Broken Tusk, from the legendary Alien vs. Predator comics.
Broken Tusk. He was the honorable one, right? Teamed up with humans.
Exactly. Known for his intelligence, honor, willingness to forge alliances. Dec's slimmer look, his slightly more human face, and obviously his alliance with Thia. It all strongly echoes Broken Tusk.
Gives him a cool lineage for longtime fans.
Totally. And the new arsenal is pretty slick, too.
Beyond the combistic and wrist blades.
Yeah, the trailer teases a sleek new blade with a glowing red edge, hints at maybe a new clan variation. Plus, first time ever in the franchise, our protagonist is seen riding a hover motorcycle.
A predator on a speeder bike. Awesome.
It's not just cool tech, right? It suggests maybe a more technologically advanced, adaptable predator society. Maybe they had to evolve their methods for this new, treacherous place.
Which leads to the other predator, the one with the red sword.
Right, the imposing red sword antagonist, wielding that glowing red-edged blade.
Could he be connected to Dec's exile?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Could he be the very leader who exiled Dec? That would make their confrontation deeply personal. Huge emotional stakes.
Any theories on who he is?
Oh, fan theories are buzzing. Could be a ruthless clan enforcer. Could even be a human or a synthetic in advanced predator armor. Maybe a Weyland Yutani experiment gone wrong. Or right, depending on your perspective.
Wild possibilities. Okay, let's talk key moments from the trailer. Action sequences.
Yeah, glimpses that hint at the film's brutal intensity and narrative direction. One compelling moment shows Dex surrounded by armed humans. Weapons trained right on him.
Loaded with tension.
Definitely. But what's fascinating is the ambiguity. It challenges that traditional dynamic we expect.
How so?
It positions both groups as maybe desperate survivors, forced to reconsider their roles because there's a bigger threat out there.
Suggests cross-species cooperation out of necessity. Hunter and hunted lines blurring.
Exactly. It points towards that. But maybe the most intense moment revealed is the cavern fight scene.
Two predators duking it out.
Locked in a savage, utterly brutal duel. And one of them has that terrifying glowing red sword.
Just a fight scene? Or more to it?
The scene's loaded with symbolic meaning. There's an apparent dismemberment during the fight. A hand or forearm gets severed.
Ooh, brutal.
And in Yacha culture, losing a limb isn't just physical. It can signify deep dishonor, defeat, the end of a hunting career.
So it dramatically raises the stakes for Dec.
Hugely. Forces him to adapt, seek a new kind of redemption, sets him on a totally new path. Maybe his old identity is shattered.
And the theories about why they're fighting.
Some suggest it's ritual combat, maybe part of a coming-of-age ceremony for Dec where failure means exile or death.
And the cavern itself.
Apparently has ritualistic carvings. Reinforces that this is a defining moment, a crucible that shapes his destiny and probably forges that essential alliance with Thia.
Okay, so with all these massive shifts, narrative, lore, everything, what does Badlands mean for the franchise's future? It's got that theatrical release date, November 7, 2025.
Right. And that theatrical release is a huge vote of confidence from the studio, especially after Prey did so well on streaming.
Signals they think it can perform on the big screen?
Absolutely. It shows commitment to the franchise as a major cinematic player, not just, a streaming thing.
And the date itself, November 7th, 2025, our sources called it strategic.
Yeah. Positions it right at the start of the holiday movie season, gives it a clear runway before the big December blockbusters hit. Could set it up for a really successful run.
And success means?
Well, strong box office could absolutely secure the future of the Predator series, pave the way for sequels, spin-offs, an even bigger universe.
But if it disappoints?
Could push the franchise back to streaming, or even into an extended hiatus. The stakes for this film are incredibly high, not just for its own story, but for the whole Predator legacy.
And didn't Trachtenberg say he had more ideas?
He did. He mentioned having 3 Predator films in mind after Prey. And he said he sort of rushed 2 at once because I was so eager to get to the 3rd thing.
Wow, okay. So there's a long-term vision there.
Seems like it, yeah. If Badlands hits its mark.
So wrapping up, whether you're excited by the genuinely alien new world, the nuanced, empathetic portrayal of an outcast predator hero, or those tantalizing hints of a deeply interconnected cinematic universe with Alien.
Which is huge.
Predator. Badlands certainly seems to be taking some big, bold swings. It's really aiming to reinvent the franchise while hopefully honoring its brutal, compelling roots.
Which leaves us with maybe one final question for you to think about as you wait for Badlands. As these lines between hunter and hunted, human and alien, continue to blur in this franchise, what new forms of intelligence, what new kinds of alliances might actually emerge when survival itself forces even the deepest corners of the galaxy to adapt?
Something to chew on.